Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you may be. We are broadcasting live here from Odyssey Momentum headquarters, Mission Control in Groningen, the Netherlands. As you can see, it's a fantastically sunny day. I wish I was outside getting a suntan. We're here to talk about conscious cities.
Yes.
That's going to take some explaining because there's two types of people on perhaps watching this. We're broadcasting live, so we're going to talk a little bit about that real time. But obviously we're recording this so that some of these folks who are in this conversation, I'll introduce you in a moment, can use this in the future. So it's going to feel a little bit interesting as I refer to the past, the present and the future. Think of it as time traveling because in Momentum anything is possible.
Yes.
I'm here with Mr. Rutger van Zoudam. You've got all sorts of interesting insights to add to this process. But also, we've got calling in from, I think, all around the world, the teams that took part in this challenge. And actually, there were 2 tracks in this challenge. So this is going to be a double award ceremony. That's why they're all looking a little bit nervous, because they want to know, did I win, did I win, did I win? But we're going to start with our 2 challenge leads, both from the municipality, the city of Den Haag, or The Hague, as I would say in English. We have Niels. Niels, I'm assuming it's Hola, but
it's Hola, yes.
Thank you so much. And Ivo Hunning, who is no stranger to Odyssey. This is not your first rodeo, right?
Well, it is. It is actually.
Really?
Yeah. No. Well. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I've been watching from the sidelines for a couple of years. But this is the first time being inside. Yes.
Wow. I'm okay. It's not often I'm speechless, as you all well know. I genuinely feel like I've known you forever, and this is not your first go around. I guess that actually says something about how committed you've been to the process. But we're not here to talk about you. But you can talk about you if you want, because I'd love to start with just how was your weekend?
Yeah, it's been an amazing weekend. I've never experienced any weekend like this. I guess working together with people from all over the world that I've never seen, but really feel I've established an intimate connection with. Even though, that might seem hard, but I think we did that. So it's been a fantastic ride.
Yeah.
Fabulous. And I think we should just start with conscious city. I mean, it's if you know what it means, it's incredibly accurate and descriptive. But if you have no idea what it means nothing to you. Can you just, in short, explain what your vision, your definition of a conscious city is?
Well, I think it started from the realization that you hear cities from all over the world talking about smart cities, and often the approach that cities take is a technology-focused approach, and we felt that actually the human element in this was missing a bit, and that is why we took a different approach and looked at, okay, how could new innovative technology actually strengthen human connection, awareness of what's happening in our city, and engage people in a better way than is being done today.
Fabulous. Said better than I could. That's why I asked you. And there were two tracks within this challenge, each track with its own head prize, or first prize, or top prize, whatever you want to call it. And the first is Scalable and Secure Living Labs. Can you give us a bit of an insight as to what is the challenge that you've been facing that you wanted to try and solve in Momentum?
So the topic of our challenges actually involves the area you see back here. Of course, this is a picture of history of Scheveningen. Also called Scheveningen in the international scene. It's the beach area of The Hague. And Scheveningen will definitely not like it when I say that. It's a special area. It's busy. There's a lot of tourism. There's also a lot of nature. There's even a prison. There's all kinds of things happening. And our smart city team had designated an area in Scheveningen to serve as a public space where we can test all kinds of digital innovations, not just to innovate and use cool technology, but to solve societal problems first. And those societal problems, as you can see, it's always been busy at Scheveningen. And I think this summer we saw a lot in the news also about what's happening in Scheveningen. So we need a new approach, and the Living Lab has been installed. Let's say so. There's all kinds of infrastructure. Like optic fibers, energy distribution infrastructure, smart hubs, which are like plug and play sensor, sort of sensor hotels. You can see it almost as, and that is sort of ready to go to start and test. But we face a number of issues. We have two challenges for that. The other challenge Niels will explain a little bit more. But the scalable and secure challenge is specifically we want to solve all these societal problems, and we cluster these in use cases. So whether it be a mobility use case or a security use case or maybe an energy transition use case, all these use cases need to coexist next to each other in this Living Lab. And the scalable and secure part of it is basically to facilitate that we can onboard all kinds of different stakeholders in this. And we can facilitate the execution of all these different innovation processes next to each other. And of course maintain a secure environment at the same time.
And I saw Rutger twitching there. I think you've got something you want to bring in?
Yeah, Ivo, didn't you try out a very cool robot a while back on the beach behind you?
Yes, actually the team that did that was also part of the Conscious Cities Challenge, Project BB. It's a robot that basically is driving around the beach looking for trash, cigarette butts, and it can detect these cigarette butts itself and pick it up. Of course, it's not the most efficient way to pick up cigarette butts, but it's mostly an educational tool right now. However, for this specific track, Project BB has taken a very different approach and has gone way more into the data architecture. But
cool.
There's more things happening. But I feel Niels should maybe explain a little bit more about the driving inclusive adoption part of this, because it's not just technology we're talking about.
Of course.
Yeah, and we Niels, not yet. We're going to get to you. We're going to keep these two tracks separate for the case of the finale. Okay. So Niels will get his time there. What I find really interesting is, Ivo, what you brought up there is, cities are by definition full of people and things and stuff happening. So there's a lot of innovation happening, but a lot of innovation happens next to each other without any idea of what other people are doing. So whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or 6 years down the line, somebody has inadvertently built something that negatively impacts something that they had no idea even existed. And so what I like about your Living Lab perspective, and that's why the scalability is the challenge here, is how do we make sure that nobody is accidentally screwing up somebody else's stuff, whether it hasn't even happened yet. And that for me is, I understand how complicated a city, a municipality is, and that's mind-blowing perspective. I think we should get into talking about winners.
Absolutely.
Or at least the winner of this first challenge. Here's how we're going to do this, Ivo. I've got next to me the Van Zoudam version 1.0 drum machine. So the drum machine is going to start rolling, and I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then you, because this is your challenge, are going to announce the name of the winning team. Is that okay with you? Fabulous. Now let's get a drum roll going. And actually, before we do that, I just wanted to mention nobody here is a loser. I realize we are going to talk about a winner, but for me, all of you here as teams have been working on important stuff on how to make the world better and how to make this a better place for all of us. So nobody leaves empty-handed. There is a cash prize for every team who participated, whether you won or not. And so my my invitation to you would be, please don't stop doing what you're doing. Please keep going. I'm sure, just based on how the Conscious Cities track is formed, I'm sure you can get in contact with Ivo whenever you need, especially if you have something to offer him. He's unlikely to not take your phone call. Let's get that drum machine rolling once more. Yeah, I'm going to do it for real this time. It's not funny when I'm not on stage. Let's get the drum machine rolling, and Ivo, in 3, 2, 1, the winner is...
The winner of the Conscious Cities Scalable and Secure track is Natix. Congratulations. There's many reasons why. I also immediately want to say that indeed there is no losers, because we have already plans to continue the conversation with every team in this challenge for the future. So all of you can expect a phone call from me. You don't have to call me, I will call you. The Natix team was definitely the one that stood out because of several reasons, and all of them came together. I'm not sure if you guys want me to explain right now why all of that is.
Go for it, 30 seconds.
All right. So to begin with, it's been a long process already now since February that we've been working together, and we could see that the Natix team was in that phase the best listener. We felt that the problems that we faced, they most accurately translated into their solution, apart from that, also let's say the political environment that was created during this summer, where we have a lot of issues with a very, very busy Scheveningen, let's say, and a lot of violence, and especially now with Corona, even more issues with the amount of people. The showcase that they took out, it resonated with our jury in that we want to start immediately, because next summer we really don't want those same problems again. And also, what I want to stress is that at first glance, if you look at the Natix solutions, you think it might be just another surveillance solution. It's about sensors, and the police can use it. But actually, it is the opposite. It is not surveillance. It tries to limit the amount of surveillance to the maximum as possible. And I think that is what Conscious City is all about.
Fabulous. Thanks for that perspective. We have the team captain or team representative from Natix on the call. That is Ali Reza. Ali Reza, are you receiving us loud and clear still?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Hi,
so, first thing, congratulations.
Thank you.
Kaboom.
I don't know if my video was on. I was jumping off my seat. I was very, very happy. It was a fruitful week, tough week, but fruitful week, and nothing can be more rewarding than at least being recognized and having been said by Ivo that we have at least listened and tried to really solve a problem, not just innovate, but really innovate towards the right direction.
Fabulous. And Ivo was just talking a little bit about what your solution wasn't. He said, it might look like a surveillance solution, but that's not how he sees it. Could you just tell us a little bit about what it was that you did build that impressed the judges this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. In very short, we are building actually a privacy-preserving event detection platform. Our sensors are basically cameras, but we are turning this around. We don't want the devices and sensors to be owner-based and do whatever they want, but we want them to collaborate and be event-based. So what we try to do is multiple things that we added to this whole system to make it privacy-preserving. One of the things is that, we run the AI locally. You just connect the camera to an off-the-shelf hardware, and that's it. Your camera becomes smart with our software on top of that hardware. The AI runs locally, and of course gives you a notification. The use case that we picked actually with the Conscious City was the crowd detection, because we know that last summer there was a lot of problem. There was lack of real-time insight. There was lack of proactive intervention. The beach was getting a little too crowded sometimes, and it was inconvenient, especially for the COVID situation. So this means that the camera locally can understand how the crowd is what's the crowd density, what's the crowd size, what's the crowd flow, and kind of try to proactively act on it, or the entities, the stakeholders. But we know that sometimes it's not enough just to tell the police or the firefighter about rough information. That's why sometimes they want to look at the footage of the video. That's why we have on-camera face anonymization and body anonymization and number plate anonymization. We call them anonymization AIs. So in case they want to look at the footage, we anonymize everything before anything has to come out of the device. We have a consolidated dashboard for the stakeholders to really see these events in real time, because they can get bombarded with too much information. So our job was trying to making it easy for them. And very importantly, that's, I think, what we learned from the city of The Hague, was that we try to make this data shareable in a very safe and secure way, make these devices shareable. Just to give you an example, that means that a firefighter, police, of course, they don't want to give you any stream of their video cameras, but with our technology, the police cameras, the firefighters can just send the fire detection AI to the police camera. The police camera can just detect the fire, and upon detection of the fire, send a notification to the firefighters, and also maybe an anonymized video to the firefighter. This way, we're really changing the sensors from being owner-based to actually event-based, and that's what we are trying to change from the current architectures.
I'm going to ask you to hold that thought. Wow. I mean, okay. I was following along. I was understanding this is not cloud-based, and then you just gave a perfect example that just makes it easy for anybody to understand how this works.
This is a paradigm shift, I think, in how you can deal with this. I was wondering, as a citizen of The Hague, how could I leverage what you are building?
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal of our solution is, of course, the short goal is to enable the cameras and sensor to help, but not to invade anybody's privacy. Mm-hmm. The long-term goal is to increase the living standards of you as a citizen. But the fact that Ivo said, we also try to have different aspects, even working with other teams, how to involve you more in what we accept as, for example, a privacy-preserving solution. That means you tell us, and you can vote on, for example, what anonymization is accepted by you. Is it okay if I just remove your face? Or no, you also want the color of your t-shirt to be changed, or complete body to be removed and anonymized before the video is being shared with other entities. So it's not just a solution that the police is using, it's a solution that the police will be able to use only if the citizens agree to it and accept it.
But as a citizen, could I perhaps develop something myself on top of this?
Exactly. So we are also working on the collaboration tools that we are building is exactly for that, for stakeholders and citizens to be able to later on use the infrastructure. For example, we are working on an SDK. We actually have an SDK, and we are improving our SDK. That means you can build any kind of event detection AI with our SDK. It makes it super easy for you. In only a few lines of code right now, you can do it. And we also make it very easy for you that once you have created it, you can put it on the camera of your choice. Now, either you have access to that camera, or the stakeholders have to give you an access, depending on certain policies and permissions. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what our dream is, to create that collaborative, not just among city stakeholders, but also including citizens.
Wow.
Wow,
yeah.
Indeed. Thank you so much for sharing that perspective. Congratulations once more.
And congratulations, City of The Hague.
Exactly.
That's really, really something to take forward.
Yeah. We got one thing
awesome.
that we need to share with Ali Reza. Ali, I don't know if you were paying attention to the live stream throughout the weekend, or it sounds like you might have been busy working, but your track actually created an award, a digital award, throughout the weekend, and that was created with 2,940 blocks that are minutes, the amount of wows and ecosystem joins / commits, invites that were shared, and that award is probably on screen sometime around now. That's truly unique piece of digital art. We've obviously added your team name to it and some other stuff. That's all being encoded, thrown up on the blockchain somewhere. I have no idea how this technology really works. And the keys will be sent to you so that you can prove that you and I guess your team are the rightful owners of that one and only unique piece of collaboratively created art. So once more, congratulations.
An honor, thank you.
I'd like to move on to Niels, if I may. Niels is going to be talking us through the other track that was in here, and this was the driving adoption, inclusive adoption of living labs.
Yeah, inclusive adoption, exactly. Well, everything just it connects to the story Ivo just told, but this part is about the whole inclusive participation thing around our living lab. I mean, if you talk about smart cities, friends of mine they get nervous. I mean, all those cameras. Is it really for everyone? Those things they bother people, and we really want to make sure that everyone can join this living lab. So it's not only a party of the government or from the big companies like some other living labs. We want to make sure everyone can join. So it has to be as inclusive as possible, and it has to be easy to adopt because people are wary of tech, and I think that's kind of the goal here.
Yeah. And
well done, well formulated.
Exactly, and ties in exactly to what we've been saying for Odyssey Momentum. It's no longer like previous hackathons, just about creating a proof of concept or a minimum viable product. It's about how can we get that out into the world. And of course, you face the same thing in your living lab. Is how do we get it out into the world? Most importantly, in a way that the world will accept it.
That's one part. I think what I particularly like about what The Hague is doing is that the question is, what does it mean, inclusivity? Does it mean that everyone can use it? I think the next level of inclusivity is like what The Hague is doing is, can anyone contribute?
Yeah.
If you can contribute, you can provide value. You can find purpose in working on that. Yeah. So if you are enabled to basically contribute to any idea or any challenge, I think that creates trust, it creates collaboration, it creates connections, and connections within cities. That is something to work on, right? Yeah. I live in a very small village, so then you greet everyone on the street. In a city, this is a different thing, right? But if you're able to create cities where there is an intimate connection because you have an intrinsic motivation to participate in your own living environment, I think that is one of the most powerful concepts any city can work on.
And ironically, it's all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
This is not a new concept. It's a concept from when humans started to come together.
It's at the very root of our existence.
Exactly.
Yes.
But it's something we seem to have forgotten or have outmanaged along the way. Niels, you know how this works already. I've got a drum machine on my left here, and we're going to talk about the team that you chose, your jury chose as the winner of this track. So, take it away. And in 3, 2, 1, the winners are...
It's been an overhead.
Where is Team Overhead?
Yes. Thanks.
Congratulations. So this was a hard choice. Me and the jury, we talked about it for a very long time. Very intense, was it? This also doesn't mean the other teams are losers, because each and any one of them have won in our eyes. And some of them will actually be connected because we really want to work with you. You've got some great ideas, and maybe it wasn't enough to win right now, but it's definitely worth looking into. So everyone, thank you, and congratulations, Overhead.
Great, thanks for adding that, Niels. And I can't reinforce that enough. It's actually part of the Momentum, the Odyssey Momentum program, where we push the the challenge leads to pick winners because there is an element of competition. It makes it all fun and provides some motivation, but we don't ever want to be talking about losers. Just before I go over to Mark, I just want to point out there's a team that's in the middle of my screen, three very small, I think, gentlemen, who appear to be sitting in just the most amazing holodeck I've ever seen. Jeroen, your mic is muted, but I just wanted to say thank you for taking that extra step of creating that background.
It's an award by itself.
Exactly.
That's really, really amazing.
And to space and beyond. And the reason I did that was so that you would go full screen so that we can capture this, because you're setting a new bar for participation. Yeah. Thanks. We're going to flip over to Mark now from team, I assume it's Overhead. Is that how we produce it, Mark?
Exactly.
So congratulations. Wow.
Well done.
Thanks. Really.
Tell us a little, what did you build, and how do you see that going into a pilot program over the next weeks, months?
Yeah, well, actually, we started out as some sort of a smart crowd control thing, because I really like the place of Scheveningen, so it has kind of a personal touch for me. As a student, I regularly visited Scheveningen on actually crowded days, so I'm thinking about how can we solve this crowdiness? How can we solve huge amounts of people going somewhere? So this is how the idea started, and we developed a simulation game based on OpenRCT2. Well, actually to manage the crowd themselves. So for instance, we also use the Stork token, actually to have some sort of local community currency in order to let prices of attractions or venues or sites be adjusted dynamically based on how crowdiness or how busy it is. So, for instance, if you are going out for a day of Scheveningen, and you say, well, I would like to go to the beach, but I also would like to go to an attraction on the pier and have some sort of a beer somewhere else at a beach party venue. Then you can form your bucket list, and well, according to your bucket list, you would like to go maybe to the pier first, and then you see on your app that the price on the pier is way too high because it's too busy. So then you decide, well, let's go to another place where the price is lower, and it's also less crowded. So basically, that's how our smart crowd solution will evolve.
Awesome.
Then again, you say, okay, I'm here. How can I participate in, enhance the attraction, or maybe do some voluntary beach cleanup or some maintenance on the pier because these wooden floors are rotting away here. Mm-hmm. So then you can send in a proposal together with other maybe residents or recurring visitors or maybe even business owners to help clean up the place. So you can send in a proposal backed by your Stork tokens, and you can have some voting weight, some skin in the game, actually, to help enhancing the place where you are fond of. And that actually is the second part. Yeah. And we really like to work with the City of The Hague in onboarding people in that part of the thing and use our own FSI infrastructure to do that. So basically it's a two-phased approach. First, onboard people so they have some sort of connection to the city or to the Living Lab objects in order to then enhance them together. So citizens, residents, recurring visitors, and business owners all alike can work together with the government in order to vote on proposals and actually have skin in the game and voting weight.
And what I love to hear there is your focus there, not just on the thing that you built, but remembering to focus on the goal of this track, which was driving the inclusive adoption, right? So that by definition means that everybody. So it's not just about the one thing you built. It's about understanding the dynamic of how to get citizens who, in many cities are disinterested because they've had no access or say for so long. Mm-hmm. and you know that kickstarting that is a thing in itself. So thank you from my perspective for opening doors on how we can start to do that, because of course whatever works in The Hague will work presumably in other cities and hopefully coming to Groningen soon.
I think Ivo and his team are building a network of conscious cities. Ideally, I think the EU should turn it into a massive program, to be honest. And then these kind of solutions can originate from anywhere. But in this regard, you can do a lot. So if you visit another city, it works in the same way. That would be really awesome. And I can't find any reason not to do it like that. Especially what Mark is working on. I think an interesting perspective. What I'm hearing is that on the one hand, you can give an incentive for crowd behavior, which can be set by the crowd or the elements that are in the neighborhood where it's supposed to happen. Could be even people who are protecting the nature part Ivo was talking about, right? Cleaning that up. And then what will you do with that when you are rewarded with those tokens? I think what they're onto is like crowdsourced governance of seeing how the neighborhood could improve in terms of, let's say, things that stay and people that come in and out.
Yeah.
So then the question is, as a tourist, how can I be part of that? I think
it's such a mind shift.
That is really amazing to see how that is growing here.
Exactly.
Well done.
And before we go too far, because I will forget otherwise, Mark, you're the winner of your track, so of course you get your own track award. That's the cue for they're nodding already. I love you guys. You're awesome, and you're awesome, and you're awesome too, Stefan. Not so much. Kidding. Mark, on screen any moment now, you know the story already because we've just talked about it, of course, but this is your very own, or your team's very own, digital piece of art conducted or constructed in exactly the same way. 2,940 small blocks, a whole bunch representing WOWs, branches that represent the ecosystem joins. That is being stitched up.
Can I show a small thank you from my team?
Absolutely not. No, of course you can, please.
Yes. No, you can do it.
There.
Oh, now I'm nervous. He's going on for screen sharing. Uh-oh. I'm looking at the tech team because they're the ones who need to sort of approve this. Oh, what are we seeing here? Odyssey on the beach of Scheveningen.
Cool.
This track is. Can I say badass on a live recording? I think I can, right?
Yeah.
We go
This
from
really cool.
taking our holodeck concept to the 100th degree, and
Whoa.
now animations.
Really cool, Mark.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'd like to flip back to Ivo, if I may, as our challenge lead. We started with you. We went all the way around the circus. We took a walk on the beach, and we're coming back to you. Pilot programs, that's what comes next. I mean, it's kind of your world anyway. It's not new to you, but part of winning your track is, of course, trying to get it out and adopted. What do you see the next few weeks and months looking like for you and these teams?
Well, they are kind of already planned in a way.
Kaboom!
First of all, I'm going to make a few calls to some of the teams that maybe feel that they haven't won right now. I can assure you there's more in the pipeline that we want to talk about. But we have some agreements already with Yes Delft The Hague to take part in a GovTech validation program, as they call it. It's a 12-week program to really set the ecosystem in alignment. To formalize agreements, to design the pilot, and then hopefully we can get a go from that too. because I think there's a lot of stakeholders that haven't been involved yet that need to be involved, especially since it's such a complex problem we're working on. So the winning teams will take part in that. We won't be alone in that program. It's the winners from the subsoft identity track are also going to take part. So there's some nice overlaps happening there, I think. Yeah, we will definitely have a busy year. That is for sure. I'm excited to start actually.
Well,
already.
Well, your excitement to start obviously gets me excited, but hearing that this has generated, this is one of the things.
Shall I?
Thanks.
Ivo, maybe. I mean, in The Hague, all kinds of things are now coming together, and you're also working on the GovTech lab in this regard. How does that fit in the context and your next steps?
Well, the reason we wanted to do that GovTech lab and not immediately start developing and put out the pilot, because if you find out halfway through the pilot that it doesn't fit, we've spent all this time and basically wasted all this money, public money, I may say. So we want to be really, really, really sure that all the incentives in the ecosystem are aligned. That also maybe the stakeholders that will see their work changing, maybe in a negative way, we can redesign them to actually create value as well, rather than be left out. So this is why this validation program, I think, is key to really start mapping those incentive flows, if you may say. So this is more Neil Smith's brain coming to life, I guess.
Really, really good.
There's a scary thought. No. Thank you for saving my ass there. What I was trying to say was, I'm so glad that this and all of the other tracks is turning into tangible results that our challenge leads can take forward and do stuff with. That's
really, really impressive.
It's what you set up Odyssey, and we hope we can never guarantee. We set up the infrastructure. We bring you all together digitally this time, but it works.
I also have to say on a final remark that no, that's not a final remark. It's actually before the final remark.
Penultimate.
This track also had a couple of brilliant team names, and I will never forget the team name Bangalore Torpedo. That is just. I mean, in all the years, it's just something I want to celebrate. It's a brilliant name.
Why does that stand out?
I don't know. It's just great. I've been in Bangalore, pretty amazing city. I don't know. It's just really funny, and I really appreciate the international vibe in this track, and they have